Coverage of the Star Mazda Series, the fourth race of 2002, here on Speed Channel. I'm Rick Benjamin, joined by GTS star Johnny O'Connell. Glad to have you with us for one of the most competitive open-wheel series that you'll find anywhere. And it's a beautiful day for racing here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. A great crowd has gathered. Andrew Marriott will be pit side for us today. Johnny, let's take a look at the current point standings after 3 races.
Yeah, you know, it's really been impressive so far. I remember our first race at Sebring. Scott Speed really showed himself to be a dynamic young driver, and he's been keeping the lead. Moses Smith closing in. Guy Cosmo, though, is very fast, and I think he's going to be showing a lot the rest of the season.
Well, Guy Cosmo has shown plenty here. He's the pole sitter with Andrew Marriott.
Well, the pole sitter here for the Star Mazda race has started in 8 events here at the wonderful Mid-Ohio track, and Guy Cosmo has won 6 of those. Guy, you've got a great record here, haven't you, at Mid-Ohio? Do you love this track?
I love this track probably more than anywhere else, other than Sears Point.
And what about this race now? Because it's going to be a lot of pressure. You've already won one of these races, and this could be a very important victory for you.
Well, I really want to become the first repeat winner in the series this year. This is my place. We showed them in qualifying. We're the guys to beat. I'm not letting anybody by.
A very confident Guy Cosmo then, guys.
And he's got reason to be after we saw him win so convincingly at Sears Point.
Oh, he did a great job. I'm wondering whether we all shouldn't use our British accent for the rest of this. Right,
take us around
it was
this
a
place.
lovely racetrack through the Ohio countryside. Turn 1 is a beautiful corner, very fast. You know, Mid-Ohio's got a lot of elevation changes, and it's a circuit that most of the drivers are very familiar with. The best passing area, though, is certainly going into turn 4. It's downhill, very fast, and guys are going to be able to do some drafting to get inside their competitor.
Very challenging place. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for this 4th round of the season. Guy Cosmo on the pole with a lap of 125.206 seconds. Jamie Bach lines up alongside in car number 34, the BK Motorsports entry. Row 2, Moses Smith, who won on the oval at Pikes Peak, and Tim Jennings in car number 70. He's from Downers Grove, Illinois. 3rd row, Justin Proskowski of the 75, and veteran Paul Dallenbach in car number 55 from Basalt, Colorado. 4th row, Scott Speed, who won at Sebring, a lap of 93.877 miles an hour, and alongside Speed, Jeff Harrison. 5th row, Joe Proskowski, 73, and Brett Arsenault in the 30 car. 6th row, Rick Ross in car number 37, John Mefford in the 96 car. He'll line up 12th. Scott Cusey is next in line with John Olson. They make up the 7th row here at Mid-Ohio. 8th row this afternoon as we get ready to go. Ian Henderson in the 84, Tom Nastasi in the 23. He's had some problems this year. We'll see how well he runs here. The 9th row, Aaron Ogus in the 69, and the 13 car of M. Milam. 9th row, make it the 10th row, Rob Walker 65, and John Brownson on board the 24 car. And the rest of the grid, Rick Waddell in the 21st spot, John Faulkner, Steve Cook, and Brian Willman will start in 24th. And there are 31 cars altogether set to go. Dan Tomlin and Tom Mabey. Dan Tomlin the 3rd and Dan Whalen. And the final couple of starters, Richard Parker and Randy Wars. And Doug Peterson, who was disqualified after he took his qualifying lap, but he will line up at the back of the field.
You know, that happens sometimes. One of the interesting things, Rick, about Mid-Ohio is that timing and scoring is on the front straight. But because the back straightaway here is so much safer, I mean, there's a lot more room for the field to grid up tight like you see them doing right now. They actually start the race on the backside of the racetrack here.
They're coming toward the flag stand to put this one underway. Star Mazda Series action here on Speed Channel. And Guy Cosmo close to the top of the points chart is the pole sitter, and he jumps off to a quick advantage as they come under the flag.
Very nice start by Guy, and again, you know, he's coming off a win. He's feeling real confident, but you know, I'm almost looking for today to be a breakout race for him.
On board here with Paul Dallenbach lining up in 6th spot, left-hander over the hill.
You know, when we ran down the starting grid, you probably noticed that Guy was almost a full second clear of his second-place competitor. Now, he's had great success in the past here at Mid-Ohio, and I know what he's going to try to do here at the start is push real hard and do what he's doing, which is open up an immediate lead and tell everybody that's racing against him is, you know, you're going to have to work real hard if you're going to beat me today.
Well, Cosmo, you heard in our opening comments from him with Andrew Marriott down on the grid, thinks this is his home racetrack, and he certainly has the advantage so far this weekend. He's got a good lead right now. Back on board, Paul Dallenbach riding in 7th spot.
Paul,
Scott
of course,
Speed.
the brother of Wally,
yeah,
the little brother, and a very good racer in his own right. And, nice to see him racing in the Star Mazda Series again.
I'm on board with Moses Smith here, the 76 car. Moses also certainly a points championship contender. He runs 3rd. Had a great run on that oval. Car number 34 right behind him. That was the car of Jamie Bach, the outside pole sitter. There's Smith in the 76.
Smith, and I think Speed is back there as well. Again, Scott Speed, our point leader. Yeah, I don't know whether he's as familiar with Mid-Ohio as Cosmo is, but as as naturally quick as Speed is, he's one guy we really want to keep an eye on because I'm expecting him to move up.
This is the battle for third. You've got 4 cars tightly bunched here, including Moses Smith, Scott Speed. A couple cars getting pretty loose there as they come through the corners and over the hill, backside of the racetrack here at Mid-Ohio.
A lot of elevation change there.
Good action under the Honda bridge. The 34 car, outside pole sitter Jamie Bach fighting for third, right behind Moses Smith. Scott Speed in the mix as well.
Well, you really get a feel for the speed when they go on board with these cars, and how close the competition is.
There's Speed in that blue and white number 11. He hasn't been able to make many gains so far. Your leader, Guy Cosmo, the 45, the white and red machine, huge advantage in just a couple of laps. And here's a move now by Bach, trying to get under Moses Smith.
Got a good run out of that last corner. Not much Moses can do, but boy, look at how close he's running to him.
As we've talked about, Johnny, this season, these cars, it's so important to keep the momentum up, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But Moses right now, he's made a move, but he's on the outside, and it's really not where you want to be. And you look at Scott Speed, snaking his way down and gaining position, and then losing it through the middle of the corner. This is some classic racing here.
And that gold car on the inside is Justin Pruskowski in the 75. You're on board with Paul Dallenbach, who's gotten shuffled back to 7th spot as they go down the backstretch.
Hard position because you don't know who you want to follow there. You got 2 options, both the 2 cars in front of you.
Still battling hard for third spot. Bach in the 34, Moses Smith in the 76. Justin Pruskowski, Paul Dallenbach, Scott Speed. You've got 5 cars, and they're just swapping spots every time around here. Plenty of action in Mid-Ohio. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back on Speed. Of course, look at the lead that Guy Cosmo has built here. Tim Jennings running in 2nd spot, but still this great battling for 3rd and 4th, Johnny.
Yeah, and right there you see Speed making a move to the inside. He got a little bit of a toe, and right now he's got the preferred line.
Going inside Pruskowski as they battle it out for 5th.
Pruskowski trying to challenge him there, coming up the inside, but again, Speed's got the best line going into this next complex of corners.
Looks like Scott Speed's starting to get a little more comfortable here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, he's figuring out. A lot of times you get racing and it's easy to sniff what other guys are doing, pick out what their breaking points are, and you're always learning when you're out there. Each lap you're getting a little bit stronger, and it's obvious that Scott Speed is a quick student.
Moses Smith right in front of the battle. That's Smith in the 76 car, the winner on the oval at Pikes Peak a few weeks back. Speed right behind him, then Pruskowski.
It's an interesting thing. Sometimes you can listen to Moses' car. Right there you could hear the tires squealing, but it got a little bit loose, and that's all it took for Speed to get that run up the inside.
To the inside in turn 1, trying to get by Moses Smith, and Moses had a little more on the outside, able to close the door on it.
And the interesting thing, did you see how that ruined Speed's momentum and almost gave Pruskowski a shot at him?
If you have to get on the brakes at a point where you're not expecting to, that's what kills you. Too wide again. Dallenbach to the inside of Pruskowski as they fight for position at the keyhole.
Great move by Paul. Again, he saw an opening, he stuck his nose in there. And once you get side by side with a guy, you really own that corner.
This is for 6, 3 wide. Joe Pruskowski joining the fun. On board Paul Dallenbach's machine.
Now that's a view you don't get as a race car driver, to look over 90 degrees to you and see how close you are to that guy. But man, these guys are running really, really hard. And as you saw Pruskowski, they're getting wide, and right there he's having to catch the back end of the car. That's slowing him down. It always looks fast when a guy does that, but it's that car that's not sliding at all. Rear wheels following the front wheels, that's going real quick. So these guys are, even though it looks real fast and flamboyant, they're actually slowing themselves down a little bit. This is exactly the type of thing, if you're Guy Cosmo, you want to see.
Meantime, here is Cosmo, 10 laps on the board. He's got a big advantage build up over Jennings. Bach in 3rd. Here comes Jennings now. And Jennings has got a big lead over the 3rd place car.
Yeah, you know what? I mentioned earlier about a breakout race, and it's really looking like Guy's doing that. I mean, we've had a great championship, a lot of close races, but when you qualify a second in front of an entire field in a series like this where the cars are just incredibly close, that's saying a lot to the other competitors. And I really have a feeling that you know, right now, if I'm Scott Speed or Moses Smith, the guy's really interested in winning this championship and having shown well this season so far. You know, when a guy spreads himself, you know, that far from you, you know you're going to have to work hard.
Guy Cosmo, certainly a talented driver. On board, Paul Dallenbach here continues to run in 7th.
You know, the interesting thing, Rick, about this series is all these guys, all these top guys, as you see Speed making another move to the inside of Moses.
Very aggressive.
Beautiful. Really nicely done. And you know what? I think, you know, Speed's background in go-karting really gives him a lot of strength when it comes to the cars from overtaking.
Sure.
I mean, he's not afraid to stick his nose in there. But, you know, all these top guys, they see themselves in a couple of years doing IRL, doing sports cars, and they know that they're being watched, and the lessons that they're learning here are going to be the lessons that get them that paying ride, you know, somewhere down the road.
Speed right there. Then Moses Smith, who sits in 5th spot. Bruskowski is next in line. And you see Speed. I think he was being held up a little bit. He started to pull away now from Moses.
Yeah, you know, you can see Moses right there getting the car loose and really, again, losing all his momentum, and that's giving Bruskowski, I think, a whole, you know, an opportunity to run close to him, pick up that draft, and get by. Now, if Bruskowski's smart, he's going to start showing his nose, putting pressure on Moses, because he's seen Moses get loose a few times, knows that he's having a hard time, and you just want to, you want to make that guy in front of you his life miserable.
Back on board, Paul Dallenbach, Wally's brother. 7th spot behind Justin Bruskowski. Bruskowski to the inside of Moses Smith. Good move to gain a position. We're going to take a quick timeout in Mid-Ohio. Back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 4th race of the season for the Star Mazda Series. Great competition all over the racetrack. On board again with Moses Smith. He rides 6th. That's Justin Bruskowski's gold car just up ahead there. You can see that Moses, the car just isn't working for him as well as he needs it to.
You know, not at all, but again, you just saw in front of him. You know, Bruskowski, you know, having a hard time. These guys are, whoa, that's so loose there.
Whoops. Joe Bruskowski gets around him to gain a spot, so Moses loses ground again.
You know, and the hardest thing, and we got to
look at him slide through the carousel.
He's doing all that he can with that car, but it's by no means an easy task. And those guys behind him are keeping pressure up, and I mean, he did a beautiful job keeping that car under him in that corner.
Paul Dallenbach now running 8th as he loses another position.
I remember a race last year that we had on the Corvette here in Mid-Ohio, and you know, our car was a little bit loose, and we kept hoping that as the track got warmer, it would come to us and the rear would start gripping for us. That never happens. And it kind of seems like it's the same deal for Moses right now. That car's got oversteer, and it's getting more
caution on the speedway. I saw the yellow light. Excuse me, Johnny. Moses Smith has gone off completely, and he's in the gravel trap. Let's take another look at it. First from Paul Dallenbach's onboard camera as Moses Smith climbs out of the car. Here we are heading toward the keyhole. A little he got launched.
Yeah.
Moses slipped out on the corner. Here's a look from Moses Smith's onboard camera. Ouch.
You know what? He got in there so hot, he knew that if he turned, he was going to spin out. So that was a bad luck for Moses.
So Moses is stuck in the gravel after impact with the 37 of Rick Ross. We'll be back. To the afternoon, just about done. Field warming the tires and cleaning them. The lights are out on the safety car, and Johnny O'Connell, we should be ready to go green here in a moment.
You know, if I was Guy Cosmo, I don't even think I'd be worried. I mean, he really knows he's got everyone covered. And, you know, the guy that's really, though, got to be chomping at the bit is Mr. Speed. I mean, he's had a good run through the field, and right now he's in contention to perhaps, you know, get that 2nd place on the podium.
Back heading to the keyhole with Paul Dallenbach, who rides in 6th position. Scott Speed started 7th today. He's up to 3rd. He's putting plenty of pressure on Tim Jennings for 2nd spot.
You know, these guys are running really close, but I want you to, you know, as the laps go on here, pay attention to something that's unique about Mid-Ohio. Everybody loves running here. It's a fun racetrack. There's good elevation change. But if you look at the racing line in a lot of these corners, actually most of them, you'll see that the asphalt is cut away and they've laid in some concrete. And it makes it really difficult for drivers to take runs at their competitors, because you get on that concrete, you start sliding a little bit. You can see it right going up here into the, you know, I think that's turn 7 or 8. You come down here, they've got grip, now in the concrete. You see them all starting to slide, and once you start to slide, it makes it difficult for you to take a run. You know, I keep wishing that someday I'm going to show up to Mid-Ohio. It's all going to be the same color asphalt to make for a more exciting race.
Back on board with Paul Dallenbach, who's climbed back to 6th with Moses Smith's spin and retirement after that contact, heading toward the keyhole a few laps back. Paul's really working hard, but he's not making much headway here.
He's really not. I mean, and you know, again, Paul's not as regular as most of these other guys. Paul comes in every now and then, and you know what? He does an amazing job. He's always been a great race car driver, but there's so much more to having great success in this sport than just, you know, than being fast. Paul's certainly fast. A lot of it's
wow, look at the contact there as Scott Speed goes for second. Didn't mean to cut you off, Johnny, but Speed taking a run at Jennings and clipped him, I think, and that's forced him off the pace.
And opened up the door on Scott himself. So,
yeah.
you know, you got to know when to choose your battles, but he's still on the inside. I think he's probably going to fight for this position.
Three wide, though, into the keyhole. Very tight traffic. Jamie Bach in the 34 trying to get by Speed, and I believe he's done that.
I think he pulled it off. I think he actually got by two guys right there. And, you know, these guys have never been lacking for courage. They're showing why right now.
Here comes Speed back at him. That's Tim Jennings in the yellow car. Speed in the blue and white car. Three wide heading toward the corner.
Oh, man, you hate when they move, turn in quick like that.
One of the Pruskowski cars making big moves toward the front.
So close, and these guys are pushing so hard. We see Speed move up the inside again and gain another position there. Paul's doing a super job here. I mean, there's really not a whole lot you can do, and when you're in this situation a lot of times, and guys are getting this nutty, you're just waiting for someone to do something stupid so that you can get that position.
Paul Dallenbach looking at this battle from the back. There's the 34 of Jamie Bach. Jennings now in the 70 has gotten shuffled back several positions. Scott Speed behind Justin Pruskowski, who's moved up to second. There's your leader, Guy Cosmo, 24 laps complete here in Mid-Ohio. And the second spot belongs to Justin Pruskowski, who really made a great series of moves in the last lap.
Really, really beautiful. I mean, and you know what? He's trying a very aggressive and smart race. And, you know, this is really one of the first times we've seen him pushing this hard and running at the front. And against guys like Speed and Dallenbach, he's been doing a great job.
Qualified in fifth. He's climbed to second. Scott Speed is now third. Jamie Bach is fourth. There's the 73 of Joe Pruskowski. He's done a nice job today as well. Brett Arsenault challenging him as they fight it out for seventh spot.
You know, it's so interesting. One of the great things about Star Mazda, take Guy Cosmo out of the picture, and we've got like 10, 15 guys running in the back. It's beautiful. Guy, though, you know, he's always had great success at this race, and, you know, he's showing why right now.
Paul Dallenbach stuck on the outside, working with Jennings as they fight for position going into the corner. Jennings slips wide in the 70. Paul trying to come back at him.
These guys are working hard.
Yes, they are.
Using all the racetracks, light in their cars. You know, over this next corner here you'll hear them get wheel spin as they come over the top, trying to get the power down.
There it is.
Gain some revs going over the top of the hill here. Again, that's a hard thing about Mid-Ohio, getting that power to the ground and all of these elevation changes.
White flag is out over leader Guy Cosmo. Last trip around here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And Cosmo's lead just continues to build. I was going to say when we were watching that battle of second back through eighth, all that fighting lets Cosmo just wave goodbye.
You know what, and even if they weren't fighting, I mean, he's just, he's broken out this weekend. I think he's showing that, you know, he certainly knows this racetrack better than anyone. He's got the car set up beautifully, and, you know, from this point on in the series, if I'm a competitor, I'm wondering, man, what am I going to have to do now to beat this guy?
Pruskowski rides in second spot. There's Jennings, who was second earlier. He's lost a lot of ground now. 34 car, Jamie Bach up in the hunt as well.
Now, if you're Speed, Rick, you're thinking, boy, I need this second place for the championship because you know Guy's got another win, and he's your main competitor right now. See if he makes the move.
To the inside, fakes inside, tries to go outside of Pruskowski, can't get it done. More battling deeper in the field.
You know, that was a very wise and cagey positioning by Pruskowski.
Here comes Speed. Inside.
Don't give it to him, don't give it to him, no.
Justin Pruskowski closes the door again. I thought Speed had him that time.
You know, I think he would have had to stick it in there a little bit harder. At the end of the straight of the way that Pruskowski kind of held the middle of the road and then faked like he's going into the inside and really made Speed think twice about it. I think that secured his second place for him, barring, you know, no mistakes here.
Guy Cosmo out of the final quarter to the checkered flag. And Cosmo is your winner at Mid-Ohio, second victory of the season. Justin Pruskowski, Scott Speed, and the 34 car of Jamie Bach fighting for second spot. Here they come, and it'll be Pruskowski to the line. He'll take second ahead of Speed. Bach comes home in fourth spot. Tim Jennings is fifth. Then Paul Dallenbach is next in line. A dominant win for Guy Cosmo here at Mid-Ohio. We'll come back and talk to the winner in a moment.
Mazda, There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make.
So Guy Cosmo has got his helmet off. A victory of cosmic proportions. Absolutely brilliant.
I got good luck kiss.
He's got a good luck kiss. The Hawaiian Tropic girls gave him a good luck kiss. Well, what about that? You had a couple of yellows and, well, it negated all your lead and then you just pulled away again.
I just knew we were hooked up for this one. We had a lot of trouble in practice leading up to the event. Blew an engine, had a lot of work to do. Qualifying said it all. I knew there was no way anybody could touch us. My team did such a fantastic job. I love these guys so much.
You love this track too. That's 7 victories out of 9 starts here. Absolutely phenomenal.
I think I got to work on Bobby Rahaal's record. This used to be his place, but this is becoming Guy Cosmo's.
Plenty of confidence. He's certainly not lacking in that department. Cosmo, your winner. Pruskowski with a good run to second spot.
He certainly did, and Scott Speed staying in there tight for the championship. And got to mention my good friend Paul Dallenbach. Did a great job filling in there in 6th position.
Take a look at the second 10. John Olson and Scott Cousy, Jeff Harrison and John Mefford. These guys battled all afternoon long as well.
You know, all through the field there was good battling going on. And, you know, a lot of times there's so much fighting going on at the front that we don't get to show them. You know, push hard, get to the front, and we'll make it on.
Moses Smith takes a big hit, though, in the championship chase. 30th after retiring following that spin. Tom Nastasi gets credit for 31st spot. Quick check of the points. 4 races complete. Cosmo only 4 points out of the lead now.
You know, again, he showed really good speed and maturity the last 2 races. It's going to be interesting in the next 5 races to see how Guy comes on.
And we'll have them all for you right here on Speed Channel. Well, for Andrew Marriott and Johnny O'Connell, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating your winner, Guy Cosmo, here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time here on Speed.